Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Warren from the Rhapsody Piano Studio, and welcome to today's live stream lesson. I'm going to be showing you how to play Someone You Loved by Louis Capaldi. This is going to be for easy piano. And if before you actually start this, if you haven't done so, you should definitely pick up a copy of the sheet music. It's going to be easier to follow along that way, for sure, okay? And you can find that in the links after the stream is over and whatnot. And hi Morgan, long time no see. And if this is your first time here on the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bells because you can be notified ahead of time what tutorials I'm coming out with and what lessons I'm coming out with as well. Get these wires out the way. Yeah. Hey, Chucky, how's it going? Alright, I'm going to show you how to practice this, and then when I'm showing you how to practice this, not only am I showing you how to only practice this song, but what I'm trying to show you here is a process that you can use for any song, really at any level, and whatever genre it is that you're practicing. Okay, so this is kind of like a universal way of learning something on piano. So from there, we're just going to pick the first small section that you can manage. And it kind of is personal preference. You have to figure out how much of a longer section you can practice. But for now, we're going to go with 4 measures. Now here, I think it's good to just find out what the pattern is as soon as possible. So you just kind of play it, block it all together, as they say. What I showed you there is kind of like a shortcut method, and I don't even like calling it a shortcut because it implies kind of cheating in a way. So we're gonna call it as like a smart cut, okay? So if you just practice this, you get the notes, and then you focus in on just the movement. So you really save a lot of time by practicing the essential parts, okay? And when you go back, it's just that again, right? So try this with me together. Go. And if you do that enough times, when you go back and play the actual notes, you'll find it's actually much easier. Okay, now I'm going to try it together. Okay, we'll try it at the same time. Ready, go. To the actual song. Okay, let me go back. I'm gonna highlight one part, a little awkward here. So here, 1/4. It is kind of incredibly awkward. No fault to the arranger, or maybe all fault to the arranger, but here I don't know if I would use a 4 here. I don't really have any skill in arrangement, but I'm just telling you, this feels super awkward to do a 1 and a 4, and some of you might not even be able to reach this 1 and a 4. So here, there's 2 options. You could either take that with a 5, a 5 and a 5. That might be even more awkward, like pinky to pinky, or you could just take out that note altogether. Alright, so if you take the note out, don't worry, I won't tell anybody, okay? It's really not a problem for me. Unless you're working on classical music, we try to get everything note by note and all that, but a simple pop arrangement like this, I don't think you're really hurting anybody, okay? Because like I said, this is super awkward. It doesn't really make sense to me to do that, but I'll just go ahead and highlight it with you here. But if you find anything, this is just for future songs as well. If you find some stuff that's awkward in some of these arrangements, then you can do what I told you here, alter it in whatever way you deem appropriate. The radio used to play this. Oh, okay. I don't really listen to the radio a lot, so all these songs are new for me. It's kind of funny, right? Okay, now let me show you one more time. most of the time when we're doing practicing, when we do small parts at a time, we're going to call this process small chunking, okay? When we small chunk, you also want to do hand separate practice where it's necessary. However, here, I think just because the pattern is so simple in the left hand, we're just going to do hands together because it's just... Alright, so you just actually, if you want to, kind of what I was showing you in the beginning where we're blocking this all together, you can take that same approach in the left hand here. See that? Sorry. Yeah, that's not the right one. Let me go back. Yeah, there you go. So, same idea what I was talking about in the beginning, and then you're just really practicing the harmonic progression, okay? So, and then you think the root is a C. This is called a fifth, 5 notes apart. So it's a fifth on each one of these. Which is also why it's a good idea to study intervals on piano, okay? So even the first time around, you might, if you find this difficult, you might just kind of chord it out. Okay, so I hope that kind of opens your mind up. There's a lot of different possibilities when it comes to practicing piano. Not only one way, okay? The car radio, car radio. Oh, nice. I haven't been really commuting a lot for obvious reasons. All right, now try this with me together if you can. Just let me play it first one more time. Okay, let's try it at the same time. All right, ready, go. Yeah, you and me both. It's hard to think about what is normal these days, right? All right, and if you look at the next part, you hear that? That's pretty much the same thing, right? Except for here. Then the music starts to expand, the song starts to expand, both in the lyrics and the music, all right? So this is another reason you want to do small parts at a time, because you're going to eventually come across sections that are the same. And when you find sections that are the same, you just want to skip it. A concept that will help you with that is to skip what is the same, you practice what is different. It saves you a lot of time, okay? All right, and then the last part of this process is whatever sections you pick, we're just gonna put it all together, and then I know I told you that last part is a repetition, but just to demonstrate the last step of practicing, like putting it all together into bigger sections, I'm gonna go from the beginning to all the way up to there, okay? All right, so listen. So that's the last step of this practice, these steps on how to practice correctly. And we're just going to repeat these steps for the rest of the lesson, okay? Let's try that together just for fun before we keep going on with the song. Ready, go. Okay, now next part here, this is where if you just do a little bit of analysis, it'll help save a lot of time, because if you say the left hand, so you notice the left hand, the pattern is exactly the same. Alright, I'll show you where it's different, but then if you just look at the left hand, once you know that, you're like, aha, I only need to focus on the right hand, okay? So we're gonna do that, just the right hand here. I'll just play both hands so you hear what it sounds like. Yeah, so if you want to practice that hand separate, it's a good idea. In fact, let me just show you how the right hand goes. that together, and we're gonna practice that together, just the right hand, and then we're gonna do both hands. Ready, go. Okay, back to both hands. Okay, ready, go. Then we have one more section here to the end of this major section. And stopping right there, depending on where if you're going to take the repeat or not. Obviously, I'm not going to take the repeat for the intents and purposes of the song, and showing you how to practice correctly. All right, so before we practice this section, if this is all making sense to you, which I hope it is, go ahead and hit that like button. It really does help me out. And after this live stream is over, share this video with someone who would love to learn this on piano. Now, I'll give you some additional advice, okay? Try to keep this as short as possible. It's super important. Once you understand these steps I'm showing you, like in these lessons, and if you don't understand these lessons at the first time around, that's fine, okay? Because that's why they call them piano lessons, and that's why I call them piano lessons, because you're not gonna get it in one time unless you're extremely super intelligent, right? So you might have to watch a lot of these lessons. You can watch this one over and over again if you really like the song, but you can technically watch any of my lessons that I have, different genres, different levels, okay? Like an intermediate one, if that floats your boat. There's some more easier songs, easier lessons. You just keep watching until you really understand this process. And once you understand this process, you can click the tutorial. Every lesson has a companion tutorial, and then you'll just be able to use that as kind of your own individual, customizable, like lesson, quote unquote, right? So they call it tutorials because you can teach yourself with them. You just have to know these steps. So again, once you know these steps, you can use the tutorials, and frankly, it's kind of better. But if you forget, you want to come back to these lessons to remember the steps, okay? As if you're not confused enough. But the tutorials are cool because you can just skip to the parts that you want to. You can speed it up, you can slow it down, the playback speed and all that, and just practice parts you want, getting rid of all the fluff in between. Because these lessons, I just really go in detail from beginning all the way to the end, okay? So every lesson comes with a tutorial. Try it, check it out. You'll be able to figure out because that's what my students do, okay? All right, let's practice this next section into the night. The left hand, so instead of just one octave above here, now they're starting one octave below. So same harmony, C major, just they're starting one octave lower, okay? That's basically what's going on the left hand. So again, I don't know if I would just, I don't really think it's necessary to practice that. I would just go through each one of these positions to get the pattern as soon as possible, okay? So just do that a bunch of times, and then when you can, go back to both hands, all right? But let me just show you the right hand now, Into Nightfall. So let's try that together. Into Nightfall. Ready, go. And then back to both hands. show you how this entire this entire section sounds. I usually don't do this, but it's an easier lesson. It's a bit shorter arrangement. It just, the repeat makes it a little bit longer. So in case you want to practice the longer section from the very beginning, if you want to put it together, this is how it sounds. Okay, so now we only have the last part to work on, so to speak. But yeah, that's the whole idea. Again, how to practice in a nutshell. So we're gonna keep going from the second ending now, and I. And then back to that chorus, okay? So it's like a little, I don't know what they call it here, pop music. I think it's called a bridge. Don't quote me on that. Probably wrong about that, right? Or bridge, a little interlude section before you come back to the main section, the beginning section, to close out the entire song, okay? All right, so let's just focus on, well, let me show you the left hand. The pattern is still the same, right? But the chord progression is slightly different. So now we have, starting from D minor, A minor, G major, back to A minor, D minor, A minor, G minor. So just hovering in between there. So again, just practicing that as many times as you can to really get comfortable with, okay? Now the right hand. And then here, I just want a little disclaimer. When you do the right hand, practicing this section especially, most times, a lot of times what happens is it becomes harder because the rhythm is, you can feel the downbeat on the left hand. Here, some of these melodic notes, right, are coming off on the offbeats. So you gotta be really careful counting here if you're gonna be practicing just the right hand, okay? All right, try it with me, and I tend to close. Ready, go. So when you do hand separate and you're just doing the melody, a good example is if you think about people who do a cappella. If you have to sing something a cappella, that's what it feels like. You feel incredibly naked, right? All right, now we're gonna go back to both hands. Together, it's easier because you know where to place the right hand melody, okay? All right, try that together, and I, ready, go. Okay, and the notes here, now instead of this pattern, now we just have whole notes. See that? So we kind of inadvertently practice what's coming up. And here we go back to the same pattern, okay? So on the left hand here, as long as you know what to expect, you don't really have to practice it that much because there's really nothing new going on in the left hand, okay? All right, let's see if there's anything different. I'm gonna play it all the way towards the end, just to show you if there are any different parts you really need to focus on and practice. could practice just like the last few measures here, the last several measures from and you pulled the rug. Because then I can't really hear or see anything that's that different that you really need to practice or focus on, okay? Alright, so and you pulled the rug. Moving down here. And then finishing, you can hold it longer if you want, a little fermata at the end, okay? Alright, let's try that together. And you pulled the rug. Ready, go. Okay, so there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and this is practicing in a nutshell. Remember to repeat this process with whatever other lessons I have, either on my channel right now or in the future. It's going to be the same steps no matter what it is that you practice. And remember to check out the tutorial as well. Also hit up the links, all the cards, and the description, wherever you can find them. I have additional videos that you should look at, like practice guides, a little bit more of an easier breakdown, a little bit more structured. Tons more free videos here, so I hope you check it all out, okay? All right, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Chucky. It's my pleasure. I will see you guys for the next live stream. I hope you guys stay safe out there, stay healthy, and happy practicing.